and welcome to the first game of the day. It is day number 15. It is StarLadder Season 6. We have 5 games today, and we're starting off with Power Rangers taking on zRage. Just to go quickly over all the games today, just so you are aware what you're going to be watching, it is Power Rangers twice today, because after this game they'll be up against Navi. Then we'll have Empire taking on 4FC. After that, probably the blockbuster of the night is DD versus Mousesports. And then last game of the day is DD once again up against 4FC. So that's all 5 games of today, and we'll be here with 3 people the entire time. We'll be here for you, providing you with all the information that you want, vocally as well as visually, because we do have K-poptosis once again being the stats man for today. And of course, as my co-caster today once more, Vykromond, welcome back.
It's good to be back. This is kind of an interesting game. It's 2 teams that we don't know that much about. Of course, Power Rangers, we were talking about them yesterday. I think you and I are both big fans of these guys. They do non-traditional drafts. They take sort of just a little bit of an askew approach to Dota compared to just about every team. But in this case, they actually currently have the more standard draft, because zRage has maybe taken a leaf out of the Chinese metagame and gone for a first phase Kunkka pick.
Yeah, maybe it's slightly to counter Power Rangers in some way. Maybe they were expecting a Kunkka after the Shadow Demon pickup from Power Rangers.
Sure.
But, it's not common to pick up a Kunkka this early when you don't have a Shadow Demon. Of course, you still have the Rubik to set things up with if you want to, but it is definitely not common. And of course, by the way, for these 2 teams, Power Rangers is sitting on 6 games played, 3 games won, 3 games lost. zRage sitting on 2 games played, 1 game won, 1 game lost. And of course, one of those 1 game that is won, I know that was awkward, is the win that they got from Cupid Red Pandas dropping from Star Series. So in Star Series they've only played 1 game.
Yep.
And we're gonna see if they can actually win their second match that they officially play, because they need some points, but they only have 2 games played, so I guess they have plenty of chances. But yeah.
zRage are a very new team. This is 2 players from, maybe 2, I think 2 players from Lions Pride, so the Russian edition of Lions Pride, not the current Danish or Central European they have now. So Android P and Hakan came from Lions Pride. Inquisitor and JOTM, they were just around the scene in general. I don't think they were on any sort of Tier 1 professional teams. And then Sharfik, of course, was in 3D Clan, then Rock's Kiss for a hot minute, and now he's here. So actually, if you're a new team, playing your games as late in the season as possible, I think is good, because A, you get to see how the other teams play, you get to do a little bit of scouting, B, you get to practice, right? You get to gel together as a team. We'll see how much progress they've made here.
Yeah, and of course, both teams, even if zRage is very young in terms of team name, of course, the players, we know them. We know Power Rangers, both teams are very aggressive, and now I'm actually hoping that they can live up to that, because sometimes when we see 2 aggressive teams taking each other on, it actually leads to a fairly passive game, because the other team is expecting the other team to be aggressive, and they want to, move after that one. But I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. And with the Kunkka pickup, we might just see zRage already being that aggressive. Aggressive team here in this game. You do have the Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin, a nice supporting combination from Power Rangers, even though of course Nyx Assassin in theory shouldn't have to be a support. But
5 seconds
with the Gyrocopter, in theory they have their tri-lane ready, and this is looking to be a very nice tri-lane. I'm actually hoping that they're going to be running it aggressive. They do ban out 2 jungling heroes already, knowing that basically Rubik doesn't need another support next to the Rubik.
Right.
The Kunkka next to the Rubik, yeah. And a Keeper of Light, still a ban out, and there's a Bane, another setup for Kunkka.
I like these jungle bans from Power Rangers, basically 2.5 junglers, so the Chen, the Enchantress, and then, if we're honest with ourselves, Keeper of the Light these days is almost a jungler, because he just spends his entire time pulling creep camps and illuminating them. So, basically, yeah, they realize that they're probably not going to contest any tri-lane that zRage puts out, especially now that it's Rubik, Bane, and potentially another hero, because Kunkka, of course, can mid. He doesn't necessarily need to go up in the tri-lane. We usually don't see him. We usually see Kunkka as the number 2 role in the mid position, and then another hero being a number 1. Well, zRage have options. We have seen Kunkka in the tri-lane. I don't think it's tremendously likely, but it is possible, because Power Rangers haven't drafted a powerhouse mid. Yeah, so we see the Alchemist. zRage can either put the Alchemist safe lane in the Kunkka mid, or the Alchemist mid in the Kunkka safe lane, but I think the first one is way better. They're almost certainly going to run the Alchemist tri-lane.
Yeah, and that should be a very safe lane for the Alchemist as well. Both Rubik and Bane kind of can fulfill the same role. If someone goes on the Alchemist, they have either Telekinesis or Nightmare to stop it. Because it just depends on which one is going to be supporting Kunkka in that mid lane, assuming that he is going to be having a dual lane there. As we have a Juggernaut pickup for Power Rangers with the Gyrocopter already in the pool. We have seen Juggernauts on the safe lanes solo, on the suicide lanes solo. We have even seen Juggernaut solo mid. But he could also be the carry in the tri lane, leaving Gyrocopter to be one of the solo lanes. They have a lot of options right now, and I like that they pick up a Juggernaut because, I mean, we just said Alchemist and Kunkka 2 cores, like you have the number 1 and number 2 position. Power Rangers make sure they also have at least 2 cores.
Absolutely. Power Rangers do have a pretty versatile approach, like you said. They can toss all sorts of stuff in all sorts of places, basically. Sometimes you even see heroes like Juggernaut being used in the solo hard. Here it's going to be extremely difficult because the Bane can get things started with the Rubik and Bane, their disables are so quick to go on you that you really can't do something like Blade Fury in response and get away. They pick up a Templar Assassin to finish it out, and that sets up an interesting perspective, but they could see something like Jug or TA solo safe, the other one mid, and then the aggressive try coming out from them after all with the Gyrocopter, Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin. This is a very high damage lane that Power Rangers could be fielding here, and maybe they feel that's enough to actually take the win in the lane.
Yeah, and these two teams, as you can see, have never faced each other in these compositions before. We do know that they know each other, like player-wise, of course, all players, as already mentioned, have been in the scene for a very long time, or for a fairly long time at least. But not in this composition, so that kind of means that the teams might not know exactly what to expect from the opposing teams in terms of lanes, and they only have the heroes to read off on it. We know, of course, that aggressive is the name of the game for both teams, and I'm kind of expecting the others to know that as well. So I'm thinking zRage is expecting an aggressive tri lane from Power Rangers here.
Mm-hmm. And they're certainly going to get one. I guess I'll introduce Power Rangers, and you can do zRage.
Yep.
Power Rangers will be running, it looks like, Cheshire Cat on the Gyrocopter in the solo safe lane. This means ZXC is going up in the middle on the Templar Assassin, and that means that they're going to go that aggressive tri-lane. Moonlight will be on the Juggernaut, and being supported by Kot, who's playing as Lua on the Shadow Demon, and Luna, who's playing as Luna, on the Nyx Assassin.
Not at all confusing. Not at all confusing. I kind of like that they don't have a Luna in the game this game, otherwise it would be even more awkward.
That's always what throws a spanner into the works.
Yeah. On the side of zRage, we have got Hakon playing the Darkseer. He'll be on the off lane up against a Gyrocopter. Should be a fairly, well, at least a lane where he can stay alive and get some experience. Fairly easy lane for him in terms of what he can expect. We have got Sharvik on the Kunkka, solo mid. I say solo because there so far is not a support with him, and we have got a 60% win rate on the Kunkka at the moment, so that is interesting to know. Let's see if Sharvik can raise that with a bit of percentage, as he will be up against Templar Assassin. Not an easy lane for him, especially not without a support. We do have Medved, why am I there? Medved playing the Bane on the top lane, of course, need to be there to defend their Alchemist. Android P will be on the Rubik, and Inquisitor on the Alchemist carrying it away.
Yeah, it's going to come down to familiarity and execution, really. Kunkka should be okay against Templar Assassin, for instance. If you just walk up and hit her when your Tidebringer is up, that takes 2 charges all by itself, so that'll be nice. The question sort of is, can Sharvik really use this hero to its full effect? I'm sure they've practiced it to some extent or they would never have picked it, but it is becoming more popular. We're going to see more people spending a lot of time with this hero, figuring out how to use it the best. Kunkka, despite being, you know, your melee beatstick hero, has a lot of subtleties to him. He has 2 what you call skill shots, so his torrent has to be aimed. Unless your support sort of set it up for you, you need to make sure that that torrent is going to predict where the person is in 1.5 seconds. His ghost ship also requires quite a bit of finesse to aim it to hit the most of your players and the opposing players. And really his X marks the spot as a finesse ability too. He's a complicated hero that you have to aim a lot of abilities with, and you need to make sure you get farms so that he's able to pick up usually Shadow Blade and maybe moving on to things like Chrysalis in a pretty timely fashion to actually be a damage
on
dealer.
the top lane, we have got some action. Inquisitor throws out a 3.5 second stun. He is able to run away after that, though. The Blade Fury went off from Moon, but they we're just only able to do a lot of damage, and that is it. Disruption was there to try and help out, but I think, well, the Impale also hit, but too tanky. Ink Visitor, he's got that permanent shield, that probably helps a lot there.
Right. In that aggressive, when you're facing up against the aggressive tri-lane, you have to take absolutely any defensive measures you can. And the good thing for zRage is they have a lot of defensive crowd control, like Nightmare, like you can telekinesis one person back into the other people. And the shields are also very important, obviously, because... Oh, actually, they're going again.
Yeah, they're going to go again. The stun is already being charged up, though. It's Medved that is in a lot of trouble. He does have a Brain Zap, and he does use it. Nightmare on himself, trying to deny it. Nightmare taken over by Cat. He still goes down. Moon. Moon actually gets the first blood. There we go. Luna going down as well. So that's actually... Am I saying that properly? I'm not. Moon actually went down. Medved's still alive. They're gonna get a triple kill here. One more hit. There we go. A double kill for Ink Visitor. Oh my god, I saw that the wrong way around. I was confused there for a second, but wow. That Brain Zap.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Well,
attack.
it's overall just really, really excellent Grace under... Oh, actually, I think in the bottom, yes, Hakan will be picked off. He gets completely caught out going for the rune by Cheshire Cat on his gyrocopter. So very smart positioning from Cheshire Cat there. As for the top, just really, really good crisis management from Medved. He waits until... Well, first of all, he uses the Brain Zap. But secondly, he waits until just after Blade Fury ends. Even though he was at very low health, that's when he actually nightmares himself. And that ends up saving him. It gives him the invulnerability frames for the 1 second. And then immediately, I think Kot transferred it onto himself.
Yeah.
Which just completely split their team and caused the 2 kills for zRage.
Yeah,
well, really, sorry, 3 kills for zRage in that lane.
The aggressive tri-lane got just annihilated. That's a big win. I mean, not only, of course, the 3 kills, that's great, you know, happy times, but also it's an aggressive tri-lane for Power Rangers. They are the ones that have to make it work for them, and you know, you have to have a couple. You can choose. You shut down your opponent team, that's already nice. You get kills, that's nice. You can do one or the other, also good. But at least make sure that your opponent team isn't getting anything. And he just got 2 kills and an assist. Ink Visitor is doing really well. He did not get the first blood though. That was actually Medved that got that kill when got the gold for the first blood. But yeah, that's gonna be making that aggressive tri-lane a lot less aggressive right now, because they know the counter initiation power coming off from zRage. They have to absolutely know that they can take a kill next time they go.
Yeah. The good news for Power Rangers is they're pretty comfortably winning this middle lane. If you look at the last sets, TA has about the same, a little more, but he has 12 denies to Sharfik's 0. So this is a TA who's already well into level 6, and Sharfik is only level 5 and only halfway through it. So this is an area where he actually torrents, he does miss, so gets a little more in the way of last hitting, but he's really going to struggle to get the levels early. But the farm is fine.
Yeah, the question is, like, ZXC, he's playing one of those heroes that can make a difference mid-game, while Kunkka, he needs a bit more farm. So farm up and levels up on ZXC will allow him to just be more aggressive than the Kunkka will be earlier on in the game. And I'm kind of waiting for the moment where he decides to go on someone or decides to leave his lane. For now, I mean, like you said, he's doing pretty nicely on the farm, so he's probably not going to leave just yet, or maybe only after he maybe kills off Sharfik once. For now, he's just sitting happily on his lane, though. The same thing, of course, can be said for Cheshire Cat, because he is 30 for 8. And, of course, he already killed off Hakon once, who is, by the way, 31 to 2, courtesy of tower skipping some creeps.
Yeah.
So also not doing
jungling, etc.
Yeah. But Cheshire Cat definitely doing good here for Power Rangers as well in this bottom lane.
He absolutely is. I think even with the 3-1, I wouldn't say Power Rangers are actually doing all that badly so far. They're getting development. TA will have his tier 2 boots in just a moment. Looks like he's going to get a DD rune, and this is always a very big deal for Templar Assassin. She so effectively scales at really any point in the game with double damage because of the armor reduction of Meld, because of her high damage in general. So she's going to be very dangerous for the next 2.5 minutes or so.
Oh yeah, the trap is there. God's searching for the disruption, but Sharfik, he ran away in time. Realized that something was amiss and got it in time. Nice torrent without the refraction there. As by the way, those 2 supports leaving top made Moon go down. Slightly too aggressive for just being by his lonesome right there.
So really smart play by zRage in the sense that you see, as soon as you see that the supports are gone, you know that you have a better opportunity to actually kill the opposing player. And that's an area where Power Rangers are really struggling, is the remains of this aggressive try. You see level 4 for Moonlight, so not that great. And the supports at this point just really aren't able to generate the same kill opportunities after that failed First Blood.
Yeah, and I mean, you say level 4 for the Juggernaut, supports are still level 3. And the supports of the zRage team, we have got a level 4, almost level 5 on the Bane. Of course, that Nightmare is going to make a big difference in this game. And we also have got Rubik, he's level 4 and almost a half. So overall, just zRage just pulling ahead. And I mean, even though they're not really winning mid lane, they're still getting some farm upon Kunkka. They're not really stopping Cheshire Cat from farming, and they're even feeding him a kill. But in the meantime, Hakon is doing a lot better than Moon, for example, on the aggressive trial lane with 40 last hits right now, and he's level 7 as well. So they can, like, they seem ready earlier right now to make some action happen on the map.
Yeah, just the amount of kills that they were able to generate in this defensive trial lane zRage has really put them ahead in terms of their ability to actually get their items and develop some of these heroes. So you can just see that Medved has these are very small values, but he has more than double the net worth of any of the other supports on the map, and that's because he's been part of 4 separate kills, including 2 kill credits. And Inquisitor has a little bit of a lead as well, partially as a result of Greevil's greed, and partially as a result of, hey, he's participated in 4 kills as well. If he's going Shadowblade, which is the most common current Alchemist approach after Power Treads, he's going to have it pretty soon, and then they'll have a great initiation ability.
Yeah, in the meantime, we do see ZXE trying to make something happen here in the mid lane as well, but Sharfik not squishy enough. Burst damage from ZXE not really there, and he actually picked up treads. So going for a more sustainable build, as we sometimes also see face boots up on Templar Assassin. She's gonna try again. The trap hits. Refraction is on. Melt damage goes through. Can she get the kill? X marks the spot. Here comes a boat as well. Might be enough. Doesn't hit ZXE. And that is Sharfik on the run. Courier chasing him as well. Should be enough for him to live. And actually might be a Nightmare coming in. 1 second before it's up. Actually, no more mana right now, but the brain step still went through, and they're looking for a kill. ZXE on the run, has a refraction up again in 1 second. We'll have to put it up. X marks the spot back to the rest once again. The courier still chasing, happily following his master. Another
nice
torrent that hits, and there's a melt damage. Oh, the courier! ZXE, if he dies now, he would die a happy man, because he did get a courier, and he might actually still stay alive. He has, no, those 2 stick charges. Just 1 second off him, otherwise he would have had those stick charges and another refraction, would have lived. But no, in the end, zRage gets the kill.
Yeah, having that courier travel with them was kind of silliness. They really didn't need to lose that courier. They end up losing a lot more gold from the courier dying than they gained from killing off the Templar Assassin. So even though I have to applaud Sharfik for his excellent, it was really good play there overall. 2 blind torrent lands, well not blind, but 2 speculative torrents, both landing. Very, very good. Using the ghost ship to reduce his incoming damage so that TA wouldn't be able to one-shot him as he ran through the tier 1. Very nice bait. It's just too bad that they had to lose their courier to do so, because that's a big gold tax.
Yeah, and it's also gonna be putting the Claymore of Alchemist on hold for a while, because that was in it, as we have Moon dodging the stun. Still takes the damage from it, but at least not gonna be attacked here. This is an Alchemist who, by the way, is now left alone as well. He's up against 3 people.
Huh. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I mean, if we take a look at Alchemist, he's got pretty good farm for this stage of the game, 52 last hits, but not better than ZXC and Cheshire Cat. And the nice thing about Alchemist is that you get more out of every single kill.
Oh, middle lane, the Fiend's Grip is there, ZXC. He's gonna go down again. By the looks of it, Telekinesis is there, Torrent, Fade Bolt, Bane with the last hit, Brain Sap.
Radiant's middle tower is
He has his
under attack.
Arcane Boots magic stick. Meanwhile, Power Rangers are going for the trade. And Cheshire Cat is actually rotated. You see that he has his Helm of the Dominator. This means that he can get even more farm earlier. Right now, he's actually ahead of Alchemist, just slightly in farm, and that's considering the fact that he, of course, has no Greevil's Greed, no Midas. But Alchemist doesn't have Midas either. He doesn't have Midas, he doesn't have Battle Fury. Some of these tools that we've seen some professional Alchemists use just to get absolute enormous quantities of gold. And that's what's really keeping his GPM not that impressive relative to median, but I think relative to what zRage need to do in this game, it's still fine.
Yeah, we have
Cheshire
got,
Cat, really, this is an interesting spot.
yeah, we have got 5 people of both teams on this top lane, so they really want this tier 1 tower, Power Rangers that is. Or at least pick a fight. They do have the Omni Slash there. They have got ZXC brought in as well. But they have to deal with a lot of stuff coming off from zRage as well. I mean, the boat for one is one of those team fights abilities that you cannot underestimate. Disruption goes up on the Kunkka to start with. Cooldown comes down on Sharpik alone. Okay, that's one way to eliminate the boat from the equation. Cheshire getting a lot of damage though. Inquisitor landing a dual stun. And it's Darkseer's Iron Shell that gets a triple kill. And ZXC, last one alive here, force team together with Moon, and both go down. They only get the Alchemist in return. And that's a double kill for the Rubik and a triple kill for the Darkseer for zRage. That's a good trade.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a little baffled by how badly that went for Power Rangers. The boat completely missed it. Actually, I think only hit just Sharpik. I didn't see the rum on anybody else. So that should be a fight that you can take, but unfortunately, when you do something like Helm of the Dominator or Gyrocopter, it gives you so little in the way of stats. It does give you good armor, but right now zRage do a respectable amount of magic damage between Unstable Concoction, Brain Sap dealing pure damage, and whatnot. So the fact that his stats aren't that high yet, Cheshire Cat, and he's only level 10 and has Phase Boots rather than something like Power Treads, means that he fell quite quickly. And so did the rest of the team, really. You saw Power Rangers just completely melt in the face of some of the damage that zRage were dishing out. And now, I think zRage leveraged this into a pretty easy Tier 1 tower, as the healing ward was stolen by Rubik, and that's a fantastic pushing tool. Nice buyback by Sharpik as well, just to deal even more damage and land a torrent or two.
Yeah, it was good that he came back. In the end, it was a 2 versus 5 trade, but yes, that's so worth it. And a Tier 1 tower to boot will be the first tower to go down. Before the towers are down, though, it's already a 4k advantage for zRage. This is just farm. And of course kills. Okay, granted. Farm and kills make a difference here. Experience graph going way in the favor of zRage as well. Also 4k just over in favor of them. And I mean, that's mostly kills, obviously, as we do have that aggressive trialing from Power Rangers not really working out, and that kind of cost them a lot of experience as well. Losing Moon twice or 3 times now already on his Juggernaut. He is still level 7, and as for levels, that is actually just as high as the support Rubik on zRage, just to give a bookmark.
Yeah, these are the wages of a failed aggressive tri-lane, basically, as you pointed out. When your natural amount of XP that you earn when the other team is doing jungle pulls, what have you, is lower, so you need to get the kills to counteract that. But in this case, they got killed repeatedly. It's just, it's been really tough for them to actually find any room for the Juggernaut. You can't leave him alone because he dies, but you can't bring the supports over because he ends up at a very low level and then he dies. I mean, it's not all bad news. What a nice impale there on 3. Actually,
yeah, they want to fight this. Nice. Cooldown up on 4, and everybody trying to run, but Medved already went down. Android dropping as well. Hakon doesn't know what he has to do. An Iron Shell, Darkseer will now run, but can he actually run from this? Medved actually bought back as the Darkseer still goes down. Medved, though, he cannot really do anything here apart from trying to protect the rest of his team. But Power Rangers, they just totally got that fight going for them, and they got 3 kills out of it and a buyback. Almost got the Alchemist, but not quite. He is getting away on 60 HP. He's, by the way, building a Battle Fury rather than a Shadow Blade. Quite interesting to note, as that is, as you said, not a common build, because normally we do see that Shadow Blade.
So I guess they don't feel that comfortable. They want to actually get more farm on the Alchemist, use him as more of a hard, well, not a hard carry, but a harder carry. The idea here is that Kunkka generates enough threat in the mid-game that you don't need the Alchemist to have that hyper-initiation style. Maybe this is right. I mean, it's a perfectly reasonable perspective, and Inquisitor, again, we noted that he hasn't had amazing GPM so far this game, so perhaps the Battle Fury is the tool that they need to increase that. I would expect to see them actually stacking some jungle camps for him in that case, to make sure that once he gets the Battle Fury, he can make use of it in the best way possible. Pop down that Acid Spray rank 1 or 2, and just Battle Fury away the entire creep wave. Power Rangers, meanwhile, after that was a great win right there. That was just really, really nice impale placement. It was what that battle boiled down to. And that gives them a pretty good level lead, at least for their 2 cores. So ZXC and Cheshire Cat, both level 11. They have their rank 2 ultimates. Not a big deal for Templar Assassin, but it is a pretty big deal for Gyro, the extra cooldown.
For sure. The only downside, of course, for that fight was that they didn't get anything in return for it like zRage did. And they might actually get a tier 1 here again. But they are going to get flanked because we do have Luna. He's level 6 and he's got that Vendetta. actually the first Vendetta just now kind of whiffed, but I mean the idea is there. They are still hanging around this mid lane. They just leave Inquisitor farming still in the top lane and are trying to keep Power Rangers busy here in this middle lane in the meantime. Cheshire Cat also farming by himself though, so a 4 versus 4 in this middle lane.
Interesting battle. Nice Torrent, actually. Sharfik's Torrents have been very on point in general. This is pretty good Kunkka play overall. I just wish that he had a little more farm to work with here, unfortunately. He has good levels, but if he had that Shadow Blade already, it would be a huge deal. Oh, he secures the double damage. This is something to watch all game, is when that double damage rune spawns, does Kunkka get it or does Templar Assassin get it? Because either one of those is a huge deal.
Yeah, they both have spells that can amplify that damage so much. One with the Meld, of course, and the other with the Tidebringer. It is really not something that you want to be up against, as he still takes the tower with a double damage rune as well, so they rotate. 4 people rotating bottom lane. They, by the way, did force Cheshire Cats at some point TP into the middle lane. He went top afterwards, though, to continue farming there, as they'll find Luna on the bottom lane trying to defend the tower, but we also see him now backing off, realizing what's coming for him. And that's the Battle Fury, by the way, complete for Inquisitor, who's already on this bottom lane, so we'll be there for the next push and perhaps for a next team fight as well. But it doesn't look like Power Rangers wants a team fight, because they are actually trying to push into the tier 1 middle, something that zRage wants to defend.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
With the Battle Fury complete on Inquisitor, I do expect, ooh, if they catch him out here, Luna actually chasing very, very quickly within this Vendetta form. He still has a lot of time, but he doesn't have... Okay, now he has the mana for the stun. Inquisitor is definitely in trouble here.
Yep, there's a disruption, Soul Catcher as well. Here comes another Impale. Cooldown coming down, Inquisitor. The lucky thing for him is, I guess, that he has got that Battle Fury, otherwise he would be a bit away from it. Here comes the Revenge Crew, Torrent, and X-Mark the spot, and a boat. ZXC, no refraction for him. He's already dead. Darkseer with the kill, looking for more. Impale up on one only with the refraction on up on Android. Doesn't do that much to him. Fiendscript up on Cheshire Cat, but the Fiendscript already getting cancelled by Medved, as there is an Enfeeble up on Moon. Won't be able to do that much, but still enough to force zRage back a bit as we have more Impales coming through. It doesn't look like any one of these teams is still going to get another one unless Sharfake makes it happen. There goes another Torrent. Not enough damage to go through though, but it does make Power Rangers go back more. But zRage at the same time also doesn't want to really fight anymore. They already used all their spells, so they back.
Pretty disciplined play overall from zRage here. The Bane using the Fiendscript, then realizing that it wasn't like that actually get a kill, and rather than keep it running the full time, he just cancels and walks back. Nice. And the other thing that zRage are doing that I think is really neat is they're doing a lot better than most teams at sniping the healing ward. So as soon as the healing ward from Juggernaut comes up, they actually delegate somebody to making sure that it's killed, because healing ward adds up. It can be really, really huge in impact across an entire team fight if you don't bother getting rid of it. So that's the thing that zRage have been doing well. Oh, this is greedy though. They're not going to get the tower, and they might get picked off.
Yeah,
well,
telekinesis there up on the Shadow Demon. Vacuum into a Torrent, into a Darkseer 1. Here comes the boat, a little late, but it might still hit. No, it doesn't. But Power Rangers, they're on the run. They already lost 2 players, lost 3 now, as in the back end. Rubik still gets the kill on the Templar Assassin. Cheshire Cat runs, Moon runs. The 2 cores stay alive. But that was a brilliant fight from zRage. And the tower still gets denied for Power Rangers, so that is good for them. But wow, what a fight.
I think zRage didn't even realize how good their combo worked out until later, because if you knew that you were going to land that combo, you would have used the boat first and then done the vacuum torrent, so that just as the people came down from the torrent, the boat landed. But I think they weren't expecting for the vac torrent to work so well, because the boat was only cast after that. It ends up missing. And honestly, this is a quibble, because they easily killed 3 players there. It was very, very nice combination of their abilities. Just playing overall as a more coordinated unit than Power Rangers are.
Yeah, it was a brilliant combination. I think we're gonna see more of that as like you said. I mean, maybe this time they weren't realizing exactly how powerful it would be. Next time, I don't think they'll make that mistake. I think they will coordinate it exactly the way they should have. And one thing again, I mean, we do have Power Rangers sometimes winning a fight, but they don't take anything in return for it. This time, zRage, they want to fight. Yes, that tier 1 tower got denied, but they get the tier 2 on top of that as well. And they now have, hereby, taken control of the Radiant jungle. The wards are there. And it's not going to be as easy anymore for Power Rangers to find that farm. And that is trouble, because Cheshire Cat, he is building towards his BKB, but he still needs some farm. And he is not the only one. There's 3 cores up on Power Rangers.
Wow, yeah, I agree. Power Rangers, both teams actually have multiple people that need farm. And unfortunately, right now, zRage are doing a much better job of actually allocating that simply because they're pressuring down towers, they're getting map control. Like, they've cleared out 4 towers of Power Rangers, whereas Power Rangers have only gotten the 1 in top. You can see Power Rangers is using that space that they generated, but without control over their own jungle, without control over Roshan, Power Rangers are having a difficult time. I still think they can win team fights. It's a matter of who initiates on who and how the sort of positioning of the teams works out in that fight. Power Rangers need to spread out, absolutely.
Yeah, to get as much of the map as they can. And we see that back that it's actually successful in the experience graph. Because right now, zRage, I mean, they're taking Roshan, so they're using it for something, but they are sticking together, and that makes that Power Rangers actually already took down almost 1.5k experience back since the time that they lost that team fight. Of course, that team fight created a big drop in all the graphs, gold and experience, and, you know, it's still not looking that good for them. But they indeed need to just continue to find the farm and continue to not get picked off and not take those team fights. Yes, you can defend your towers, but a cooldown should be enough to force zRage away for now. And running all in is apparently not really the way to go, as we have got the Gyro picking up a BKB, so that might make a difference in the next fight.
So BKB is an extremely important pickup for him. So the fact that you won't get hit by Torrent, Vacuum, Ion Shell, any of Bane's spells, most Rubik things, or Unstable Concoction is like a bare minimum for them to win the fight. Without that, it's just be a complete disaster. So it's good that they rushed the BKB. It does help the situation for Gyrocopter substantially. I would love for Templar Assassin. Yeah, okay, so he's going BKB as well, as you can see. He's got his drums, making the BKB now. Juggernaut, of course, has to worry about magic a little less than the rest of the team. And that's actually another issue for this team, is that Moonlight has almost nothing on Gyro. He has a redundant set of drums because Templar Assassin already has them, and he's only level 10. He needs at least 11 for the level 2 ultimate, or he's just a nothing in these fights.
Yeah, and Alchemist now also with the BKB, so that will help on the side of zRage. And for now, I mean, as you said, Juggernaut's mostly a utility hero with the healing ward, and of course the spell damage going through still from the Omni Slash and the Blade Fury, that helps a lot, but other than that, there's not that much. They go for ZXC. There we go. The Torrent, his disruption is there to save his life, though. The Monarch perch up on Sharpwick as well. He's trying to run. Luna coming in. He's gonna get a boat, though. Nightmare and Stun and Luna. He's dead. Vacuum into the Darkseer Wall. Cheshire Cat pops his BKB for the first time, but uses it defensively to run away as Moon gets hold inside a Fiend's Grip and will go down as well. ZXC gets Sharpwick in the end. So congrats for him, but he does go down for his troubles. And this is once again zRage on the hunt. We already have Inquisitor looking for the next target, already charging up his stun. Wants to go for Cat. Will be able to throw out the stun. Won't be able to chase. Oh, will be able to chase. Yeah. Oh, why not? It is only a tier 3 tower. The courier goes down again though, and they run with it into the dire jump, into the Radiant base. That's not something that you want to do.
Alright, so good points about zRage. Really good team fight, good movement and farm allocation across their heroes. Maybe not so great courier control. Maybe that's an area where they could use a little bit of
that courier has got and the Aghanim Scepter on it from the Darkseer, and the BKB from Inquisitor. The complete BKB
is really bad.
That is really bad. Like,
yeah,
really
the
bad.
Courier control is aggressively mediocre. Decent fight, really good fight overall for them. Power Rangers doing their best. They put down a sentry ward. Actually, Sharpwick would probably have lived through that fight if there was no sentry, because he could have Shadow Bladed away on 1 HP from the Ghost Ship expiration. Yep. But there was a sentry ward. ZXC managed to finish it, but still, these fights are becoming more and more and more painful for Power Rangers every time they have them. They just really can't teamfight right now. Even with zRage having 6,000 gold worth of things on the courier that they can't have access to, they're probably still favored in just about all of these fights.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, you know, it's great that you pick off the Kunkka, you know, that's awesome. But in the same time, Alchemist was just allowed to run rampant and is still the one hero that you have to watch out for, maybe even more so than the Kunkka at this point. And yeah, it's just not worth to die like that to your, to just get 1 kill up on those people and lose 3 heroes off for that. As Moon, in the meantime, he actually picked himself up a Blade of Leprosy, so I'm hoping maybe for a Yasha, maybe a Matacel still up for him, as we have got zRage once again going mid.
Yeah. zRage know just how favored they are in the team fight, so they want to generate the opportunities. Power Rangers, I think, want to try to get away from them. So if they can afford to not team fight, I think they should try to dodge it until they get another big item on Gyro. So the nice thing here is that Cheshire Cat has been farming quite well. He has the most last hits on the map. He has the highest GPM on his team, and his net worth is not that far off from Alchemist. So he's pretty close to being able to pick up something like he's more than halfway to a Monkey King bar, for instance, if that's what he wants. Or if they feel very desperate, he's not that far away from Rapier, although I think it would be a sort of unnecessary and excessively speculative pickup.
Yeah, they do need him even more farmed though, I think. I mean...
Yes.
Yes, it all depends on when zRage thinks that they can push again. I mean, they still can. They still have the Kunkka there alive with the boat. He almost has a BKB. Maybe they want to wait for that. And actually, saying that, maybe they want to wait for the courier to be alive again. Because that would be nice for them. I mean, that's a pretty big deal right there. As we do have them at least making sure that Power Ranger is not getting any extra farm. They try to chase them away from the map. We have got two very aggressive wards being placed. One at the ancient camp, one in the mid lane. Radiant Jungle though, being left alone by both teams at the moment. Because we have got a pause.
Power Rangers don't feel comfortable delving too deep into their jungle. They have almost no vision of it. There's just one psionic trap, so they know if teams are traveling in one particular axis, and that's about it. So Power Rangers, they can't go into their jungle too far, really, because they run the risk of getting punished extremely heavily by zRage. I mean, this is a Shadowblade Kunkka that can run around and chase you. You have Darkseer who can surge anybody. There are many really good combos in zRage's lineup. One of them is Surge Fiend's Grip. Like, usually you can get away from a Bane because he's pretty slow moving, only 375 movement speed with those Arcane Boots. So he can't necessarily land the Fiend's Grip on you. But in this case, they have the Darkseer who surges the Bane, and now he's going at 522 at you. You have no way of escaping. The Fiend's Grip lands. It's such a long disable, 5 full seconds, that there's just no way you actually survive because it gives the rest of their team all the time in the world to catch up.
Yeah, and if you want to try to stop him from doing that, you only have a few means to do that. I mean, you have the Disruption, but you don't want to use it on a support Bane. You rather want to use it to either lock down either Kunkka or the Alchemist. And you've got the Omni Slash, which is actually very nice, but then you have to actually run in, past the Kunkka, past the Alchemist. Good luck doing that, and then there's also a Telekinesis or a Vacuum back if you want to try and do that. And of course the Long Range Impale, that's the one that we should look out for. To get that Fiend's Grip under control, because that's basically the only thing that they can really spare to really try and interrupt a Bane at the back end of the fight.
Right. Right now, the issue for Power Rangers here is they need to slow the game down, but it's also very, very painful to slow it down because of Alchemist. He's going to have his Assault Cuirass. That syncs up very, very well with Sharfik's damage as well. It lowers all of your armor in an AoE, and then Kunkka just comes in, smacks you around. Alchemist is constantly attacking with Battle Fury. They need items, especially on Templar Assassin and Juggernaut, who are struggling, but they also can't wait too long because they could just get overwhelmed. It's a very delicate situation. BKB complete on TA is a good thing, but it's no damage.
No damage indeed, and they just have that Gyrocopter use his 9-second BKB to avoid a torrent. Of course, it might have prevented him from dying, but zRage is going to be very happy with that. It isn't cooldown for another 30 seconds, but they don't look to really go in, even though they do have their courier items back. So we have the Darkseer with the Aghanims, we have the BKB off on the Alchemist. X marked the spot, going to be hitting up on the TA with a torrent there to follow, but no real follow-up coming after that. But I think zRage are, with these items, with their courier back alive, looking for more. And a double damage rune in Kunkka's inventory, as well as his BKB ready right now. So this is extremely dangerous.
Absolutely. Someone in Twitch chat reminded me that, of course, now that Kunkka is becoming much more common among professional teams, since this is StarLadder, we might see more everybody in the boat memes. There's an old Vlad quote from, like, I don't know, I think sometime in 2012, or actually maybe even earlier, that everybody likes to bring up. So if you ever see a large wall of Russian spam on your Twitch chat during Kunkka games, Sheever, that's what that is.
Okay. Clear. We do have a counter initiation coming from Power Range though. Everybody trying to TP out or trying to run. Luna can try to go for someone. It has got to pick that up. Goes for the Alchemist. Is he tanky enough to survive through this? The boat comes in. The BKB is active, but it's not enough. Inquisitor goes down, but as does Cheshire Cat. That was actually on the top lane because he was not with his team. BKB's turned on all around as Sharfik looking to maybe chase. Doesn't find really an opening and he backs off. But yeah, that was a gyro farming top going down to the Bane. And who else was there? I believe it was the Rubik. Bane and Rubik with the two of them. What the hell? Support power with the Fiend script.
Yeah, seriously. Bit of a mistake, honestly a mistake from Power Rangers to have the gyrocopter out so far on the top, but a mistake from zRage in the middle. I don't exactly sure why they decided to actually take that fight, because I didn't think Inquisitor had any chance to survive. But good news for zRage, I mean, they basically have this Dark Seer as an alternate court hero here. So Hakan was able to rush to Aghanim Scepter, which usually you don't see Dark Seers even being able to afford, and sometimes they don't want it. Ag Scepter, a pretty good pickup in this game. Since the other team has 3 cores, you're generating 3 pretty powerful illusions. Now, you can quibble and say that, you know, Gyro goes, Rapier, by the way, that because Gyro is damage heavy and not stats heavy, his illusion is mediocre. This is completely true, but because there's a Juggernaut and a TA and a Gyro and their illusions are all reasonable, having that 140% wall is actually an opportunity for zRage to just blow team fights open. But this Rapier could change the balance of the game. zRage aren't that tanky. They're BKB.
Only.
Yeah, so it's just Relic. But he will have it. I mean, he's at 1500.
I was confused. I thought like, okay, maybe there's someone else who has a Rapier, but no.
Right.
No, but yeah, you're right. This is a Rapier. They need that though. They really do.
They do. They do. I mean, they understand how behind they are. But the plus side is, zRage, their tankiness comes from the fact that they have a lot of BKBs and stuff, but their HP pools aren't that enormous. It's only 1500-ish for the Alchemist at level 15. Same basically goes for Kunkka. Kunkka's a pretty tanky hero, but these supports get picked off very quickly by a Rapier Flak Cannon. With the exception of Bane, who's like really quite survivable compared to a lot of other supports, because he has that Ogre Club for his BKB early.
Yeah, I think the Power Rangers are realizing that zRage is doing Roshan, but oh, they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight. Here they come. You already have the BKB turned on.
For
Sharper, here comes the boat. They go for Luna first. Luna already drops very fast. Golem coming down though. The BKB turned on by Inquisitor as well. There's the Dark Seer wall. And all these BKBs there though for Power Rangers. Cheshire Cat has to already run away from this encounter. Maybe still is Medved's able to do something. Pops the Ghost Scepter is exactly the right time as the rest of his team cleans out everybody of Power Rangers. TPF from Cheshire Cat looks to be able to do just that, as Moon was already back inside the base because he bought back, died, well, in other order obviously, and went back to farm middle lane.
Really tough fight for Power Rangers. They tried their best early on. It seemed like it might go okay, but the ability to out-sustain with the Rapier, that actually ends up being a completely different fight. I think they get a couple early kills and turn it, but the farm wasn't quite there, and that really comes down to, yeah, I mean, Cheshire Cat, if he hadn't died top, maybe he'd have the Rapier now, and they could have taken that Roshan engagement, but unfortunately, even with good damage from him, he was forced to flee the fight, and things just got a little grim from there. Forced to buy back Moon. They don't... Actually, interesting that zRage pulled out of the Roche at 20% HP.
Yeah.
So Roche's still up.
Yeah, they kind of won that fight, but maybe they want to put it on the Alchemist, and Alchemist, of course, being dead, doesn't allow them to do that.
That's probably what it is.
But
and they did recover their own gem as well. Android P holding it.
Yeah, we do have the Alchemist, though. I mean, the Alchemist, you know, Gyro. Oh, they find them disruption there. There's already a sentry ward on the Demonic Purse. BKB turned on. Can they actually get some kills
here?
Doesn't look like it. It's just 2 versus 2. Age is still being picked up by the
Oh,
Alchemist. Luna. One more hit. The range creeps will do the job.
Yeah, and the Rapier is complete. This is, as K-pop is pointing out, it's really a gyro item, more or less, these days. Mostly gyrocopters do it, getting it 8% of the time. It's both an offensive and defensive item. When you're way ahead, you use it to completely close out the game. When you're way behind, you use it to try to do a last-ditch defense effort. And picking it up before you lose any barracks is actually pretty good. Sometimes we see teams picking up when they already lose 1 or 2 lanes of barracks. So that makes it very hard to catch up, even with the Divine Rapier. Getting it before then gives them a decent shot, but they first have to make sure that zRage don't just pick up this tier 3 for free.
Yeah, we do have, of course, Inquisitor with that Aegis. I mean, I have to say, like, The Rapier is complete, obviously. Let's see what they can do, though. Inquisitor, he can be revived once more as there's a Darkseer roll. Cheshire Cat gets a Fiend's Grip, but where's the damage? No damage just yet. They go for Moon first. Moon and Luna already dropped down. There is also an illusion of the gyro. It does end up going down as well as TA. As Inquisitor comes back with the Aegis up. That was not really the defense they were looking for. Look at those HP bars. We do have the Rubik dying in the end from the Shadow Demon. And even though everybody is really low, that Fiend Script just completely shut down that Gyrocopter.
You really did. That's the problem there, is that they still have Fiend Script goes through BKB, 5-second lockdown, and as a result, zRage just really pulling it together in almost every engagement in this game. Like, they really just out-executed Power Rangers when it came to 5v5, and they have a good 5v5 lineup just at baseline, too.
And they're gonna try again. X mark spot already up on Cheshire Cat as the cooldown comes down again. Can they get some extra damage on there? Cheshire Cat, he's got an Enfeeble up on him as Luna goes down for the second time. BKB turned on the Inquisitor, decides to turn it around. Here comes Moon, looking for Medfed, but there's a Ghost Scepter and a Surge to help him out. And that is once again zRage backing off, or is it a fake back? They might still get greedy and try to go for that gyro. I mean, how badly do you want to kill that gyro if you're zRage right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you can put the Rapier on Kunkka, he actually, and then once you get the Rapier on Kunkka, of course, the only choice you have is to use his 7,000 free gold to buy a second Rapier on Kunkka.
Yep.
And that would be the greatest professional game of all time.
and the shortest? Nah, that we're already way past that one, but it would end probably in very short time. And he does go for a Rapier. There we have it. Sharfik, Rapier.
Yes! Two Rapiers.
Two Rapiers on the deck.
Happy.
But how do you fight Rapiers from enemy team? Get your own. There you have it, people. We have also got a Sheepstick up on Hakon.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They're getting so much... This Bane... So Medved, right from the beginning, we were like, hey, he just got a double kill in the first area of the game, and he was 2-0-2 when they had 4 kills. You see that paying off. He's at 8,700 net worth. He is comparable to the Templar Assassin, to ZXC, who just has Yasha and BKB. So this Bane is already substantially bigger than the Gyrocopter. Sorry, than the Juggernaut. Almost as big as the Templar Assassin. And this BKB edition is huge for him. He's able to not worry about something like Disruption or Impale ruining his Fiend's Grip. And now with Rapier, they have just as much damage getting thrown at Power Rangers as Power Rangers can throw at them. 500 damage by Kunkka, pre the bonus damage the Tidebringer gives. And pre Shadowblade.
Yeah, and then you still have that, of course, Enfeeble that will hit up on Cheshire Cat, kind of reducing his attack power a bit. So the zRage ahead in terms of how much power they can throw out. The question is all about execution, though. How are zRage gonna go into the base of Power Rangers? Can they just barrel it through at this point?
With both. The thing is, against the Gyro Rapier, you can Kunkka Rum your entire team, and then they take 50% less of that Rapier damage. That gives you plenty of time to actually at least kill the barracks. And yeah, this is only the 4th time. In pubs you see this all the time, but Kunkka going Rapier happens pretty rarely, especially since he's not usually in the number 1 position. Like, he's the number 2 on their team here. But for the 4th time, it's Sharfik getting the Rapier. I'm very excited to see if they manage to secure a second Rapier for this Kunkka, because that would just be funny. And I don't think Kunkkas have ever had 2 Rapiers. We did have a 3 Rapier Gyrocopter in a game the other day, Fnatic versus Virtus Pro. And you see, yeah, they actually take the racks, because Power Rangers can't engage. This semi-choke point on the high ground actually has one of the ideal spots to plant a Kunkka boat, so it's very dangerous for them. If they get stunned, they just lose.
Yeah, and on the other side, kind of for Power Rangers, you don't want them to be too spread out either. I mean, you want to be able to have that cooldown hit on most people to slow down everybody. You want the Blade Fury and the Omni Slash to do most amounts of damage. So it's really counterproductive for Power Rangers. They don't want to be fighting in this bottleneck, but they also want to be fighting in a bottleneck for themselves. And it's really tough to find the exact right opening. And they're just lacking some shutdown right now for Sharfik or for anybody right at this point. I mean, that Impale that I was talking about is basically the only thing that can hit multiple targets and disable them. And they really needed to hit, like, clean and then go in.
Right. They need to... Power Rangers needs so many things to line up perfectly, and a few things to line up incorrectly for zRage. For one thing, the boat needs to whiff somehow. The boat is just such a high impact. Uh-oh. Nice disruption, actually, saving him from the X turret. So the boat hits on just a few,
Yeah, it also hits up on the next assassin. He's already going down. Inquisitor running
Fiend's
himself
grip.
back with a Fiend's grip. Again, that's a
no.
rapier on the floor. Hakon, did he pick it up? TA didn't. Hakon, no rapier for him either. Who took it?
It's on the ground.
Nobody did. Oh, there you go. Alchemist did it. Yep, you're right. GG, well played goes out. No real surprise there though, but still nice. 2 rapiers on the deck for zRage at the end of the game. Power Rangers not able to get another 3 points here in day number 15 of StarLadder Season 6. We are going to be seeing them again though. Let's see how they do up against Na'Vi, a team that they actually have taken a game off recently.
They've taken multiple games off them. They took one at the Tech Labs LAN, and they took a game off them at StarLadder Season 5, I think. So, depends on how much Na'Vi want to troll, right? That's generally
Yeah,
what.
and also of course how like Power Rangers, they know Na'Vi. Like everybody in CIS, if you play CIS, you have followed Na'Vi for a long time. You know exactly how they play, what they play, and you kind of know like you have your strategy against them in that case. So let's see if they can pull it off. zRage, of course, a bit more unknown team, so maybe they weren't exactly sure on what to expect from them. Or unknown team, I mean new team in terms of
Right.
team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's jump ourselves into that one. We'll be having probably about a 5-minute break, but that will give us just a bit of time to get some food and drink. So make sure you get that and stick with us for Power Rangers taking on Na'Vi in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.